القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
الحمد لله كفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Welcome to this video. We will now move on to the Sifaat themselves after doing the categories and the introduction. So we will start off with, of course, the Sifaat al-Mutadadda, the Sifaat with opposites. These Sifaat are 10 in number as previously mentioned. We will start and go by category. So the first category that we will do is al-Hams and al-Jahr. So they come in pairs. So al-Hams, as we can see on the left here, is the characteristic and its opposite is al-Jahr. So what is al-Hams? Al-Hams is the whisper. So what does the whisper mean? The whisper means, al-Hams means the running of the breath when pronouncing the letter due to weakness in its origin, therefore weakening the letter's reliance on its origin. So if we have a look here, the fa, ha, tha, ha, shin, kha, sad, sin, kaf and ta. When these letters are pronounced, some air is continued, letting air run through the sound. And again, we will put the hamza before it with the fatha, and the letter itself will take a sakin. So we can test this theory here. So the fa, if we say f, then we can hear a lot of air running through the fa sound. And because f, the air is running through, therefore there is some weakness in the letter's reliance on the makhraj. So f, ath, ash, akh, as, ak, at. So even with the last two, ak, at, there is some air running through. Now a quick word regarding these. The first letters here, all the way from fa to sin, are very reliant on the air passing through. With the kaf and the ta, there's just a small amount of air which passes through. And if you can hear this, it says ak, at, ak, at. This is less than when we will say, for example, f. You can see there's a lot of air running through, and in the next category we'll see why. So these letters are Hams letters, which means that air passes through when we are pronouncing these letters. Even when the mutaharrik, then the fa, ha, tha, ha, sh, kha, sa, sa, ka, ta. There's a small amount of air, well, there's a big amount in these first letters and small amount which runs through on the kaf and the ta. So all of the letters which are al-Hams are laid out here, and all of the other letters of the Arabic language fall into the al-Jahr category. So the al-Jahr category, what does it mean? It means the apparent, and that means the imprisonment of breath when pronouncing the letter due to strength in its origin, therefore strengthening the letter's reliance on its origin. So when these letters are pronounced, then there is no continuation of air running through the sound. So, for example, let's take the Jim. We will say aj. There's no air running through. The Jim is strong in its reliance on its makhraj, and we say aj. Okay. Now, if there is another letter, for example, the Dad, then we say ad. There's no air running through. There's no air running through the ad. It stops on the sound itself. And is very strong on the sound. Now if we have a look at the bottom, I've said take care of imprisoning the breath with ayn, ghayn, dhal and dha, and the specific reason for this as well, which will be covered in the next category. So al-Hams is when the air runs through, and al-Jahr is when there is no air running through the letter. The next Sifa that we will be looking at is the Shiddah, the At-Tawassut and Al-Rikhawa. We will look at Shiddah first, then we look at Al-Rikhawa, and At-Tawassut is in the middle. So Shiddah is the strong. So it's the imprisonment of sound. So in the previous one, Al-Jahr was the imprisonment of air or breath or air. But in this one, this is the imprisonment of sound. So the imprisonment of sound when they're pronouncing the letter, therefore completing the strength and the letter's reliance on its origin. When these letters are pronounced, then there is a hard stop and imprisonment of the sound of these letters. Take care when, we'll do this in a second. So if we have a look at the Hamza, Jim, Dal, Qaf, Ta, Ba, Ka, Ta, Kaf, Ta, we will see, especially in the first letters here, Hamza to Ba, there is a very, very strong imprisonment of sound, especially the Hamza. We say A. So we put a Hamza before the Hamza, and the second Hamza has a sakin. A. There's no sound which continues thereafter. Aj, Ad, Aqa, Ata, Ab, Ak, At. Now, Hamza is the strongest of the Ashidda letters because there is completely nothing following through. The Jim, Dal, Qaf, Ta and Ba, they also belong to another category, which is the bouncing of the sound. So the bouncing of the sound should not be confused with the continuing of a sound. The bouncing of the sound is the separate rule with regards to these letters, and that rule is of al-qalqala, which we'll be covering in these later on. Now, a special word about kaf and ta. So take care of imprisoning the sound with the ta and the kaf, as they also have the quality of al-hams. So al-hams, of course, is when we continue the air. So with these two letters, kaf and ta, we are continuing the air, but we are not continuing the sound. And that's why care should be taken with this. When pronouncing these two letters, first imprison the sound and then imprison the breath. So this is the order in which you will pronounce this, and we'll do this with the whole Hamza and Sakin example. If we have a look, first when I pronounce the kaf, then first we will imprison the sound to ensure that it has a shidda, and then we will imprison the air to ensure that it has al-hams as well. And that is ak, at, ak, at, ak, at. So first we make sure that the sound is imprisoned, and then the small amount of air which comes out, we don't let it pass through too much. We don't want it to say ak, ak, at. That's too much. We'll just imprison it a little bit. Ak, at. But so just to let the continuation of the air as well. So these kaf and ta both have opposite. Now if we have a look, we'll go back a slide. Al-Jahr letters are all included in the Ashidda letters apart from kaf and ta. So effectively al-hams and ashidda are two opposite categories within themselves as well. So because really all of the al-hams letters from fa, ha, tha, ha, sheen, kha, sad and sin, they are all ar-rikhawa letters. And what is ar-rikhawa, also known as ar-rikhwa? We will go to the next slide and we will see this continued. Ar-rikhawa means the softness, and that is the running of sound when pronouncing this letter, therefore weakening the letter's reliance on its origin. When these letters are pronounced, then there is a continuation of sound. So f, fa has a continuation of air and it has a continuation of sound. Kha, it has a continuation of air and it has a continuation of sound. Sad, it has a continuation of air and a continuation of sound. So these are qualities which go together. Al-hams and al-rikhawa are qualities which go together because normally there is a continuation of sound and air. Now the next quality is at-tawassut. So what is at-tawassut? At-tawassut, also known as bayna, is the in-between. As the name suggests, it is the middle way between ashidda and al-rikhawa. When pronouncing these letters, we must not stop the sound suddenly, nor let it run too long. It is very similar to the English equivalent of these letters. Of course, there's no ayn in the English, but everything else there is. So when we say the lam, when we're stopping on the lam, we do not stop al. That's too quick and too strong, like ashidda. We don't say an. We don't say a. We don't say we don't say ar. we let the sound continue in a middle way. We say al, an, a, ar. So the sound continues not as much as al-rikhawa letters, but it's not as strong as shidda. So this is a middle way, something which needs to be taken care of. Now let's take a look at the special note between al-rikhawa. So we should take note that the lesson, that in the lesson of al-jahr, we mentioned to take care of these 4 letters, ayn, ghayn, dhal, dha. And the reason for that is because they have the continuation of sound, but not of breath. So it's a bit like when we're taking care of the kaf and the ta, they have the continuation of breath, not sound. But this is the opposite. They have the continuation of sound, but not of breath, not of air. Therefore, we must continue the sound without running any air. So when we say ah, we need to not say ah, ah. That's not correct. When we're saying oh, we're not saying oh, oh. That completely distorts the ghayn. And especially with the dhal and the dha, we don't say adh. That completely distorts the sound, and oh, oh, that distorts the sound of these 4 letters. So we must take care with these 4 letters, the ayn, the ghayn, dhal, dha, and we must take care of the kaf and the ta, to ensure that we are giving the letters their correct rights and dues when we pronounce them. And inshallah, in the next video, we will continue the Sifaat with opposites.
Salam Alykum. Be sure to download your free implementation workbook. We go through it step by step. All the videos correspond with it. We have laid it out very strategically so you can master Quranic Tajweed and Quranic Mastery and implement it while you go along. Okay, so be sure to download this and it will help you on your journey. It's free to download. The link should be in the description. Salam Alykum. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please like this video so we know you enjoy it, as we can make more. Please write a comment and tell us what you thought about the lesson. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe now. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.